Allow me to record this one a little bit in the screencast, so those who are not able to join us right now could still see it in the recording later on. Okay, before I clear the ink. All right. Okay, so now let's move on to the next example, which can be found on example number 4. Okay, so the equation is 2L plus 2W is equal to P. And we are solving for W, right? So since it's a group of a variable and a constant, we're going to leave the 2W first there, okay, later, and we're going to remove the 2 later. But for now, what we need to do is, I'm trying to find the cursor. Oh, there you go. It's showing now. All right. So what we're going to do is, first we move the 2L over. Why? Because we want this group to be alone, right? So subtract 2L from both sides. You cancel it from here, and then you subtract 2L. There you go. Then after that, you'll bring this down. So 2W is equal to P minus 2L. And you have questions, just feel free to write them in the chat because I can see it on the other device. Okay, so, all right. So now that we have subtracted 2L, we only have one last thing to do. We have to get rid of this 2 because it's the only one that's connected to W. So since they're side by side, they're being multiplied. So what's the opposite of multiply? You divide, right? So you divide that by 2, but whatever you do to the left, you also have to do to the right. There you go. So this will cancel them out. And you get W equals, you can copy this exactly as it is, or I would like to share what some of you wrote last time, and I was pretty impressed. Okay, so it's W equals, you can distribute the 2, make it P over 2, right? Minus 2L over 2. But see, these 2 will cancel out again. So you will end up with W is equal to P over 2 minus L. All right, and I want to see who among you finished that last time. Let me go to responses. Yeah, okay, you circled that correctly. That's good. And then, yes. Okay, you subtracted 2L from both sides. Nice. Okay, and then, all right, that's the one that had the explanation portion, right? So you didn't have to write anything. But as you can see here, we cannot simplify them anymore because they are not like terms, okay? So they don't have the same variable, so they cannot be simplified anymore. All right. If you need to take a picture of that, go ahead so you can type that up next time or over the weekend. Okay, we will have a chapter 1 review after this. So you will have a chance to use another Desmos activity. And our test is actually scheduled on Wednesday next week. Yeah, so we're finishing up chapter 1. It took us a little longer than usual because, we had to practice all these virtual platforms. All right, I can see Brandon is working on it right now. Cool. So if you want to work on it while I'm discussing it, that's fine. Whichever works best for you. All right. I'm just looking for the next example over here. There you go. I'm going to clear the ink. All right. I think this is the second to the last example. If you just join us right now, your classmates are actually sharing, like successes that they're celebrating this week, like getting the grade up from D to B. Justin painted his room. Um, Somebody helping the family to set up Halloween decorations. Okay, so if you have other successes to share, just type in the chat. I can see it in my other device. Okay, so 2x plus 3y equal to 4. And in this case, we want to isolate, is that x or y? Okay, there you go. So we want to get the y by itself. So since it's connected to 3, we're going to leave this group behind. Okay, just leave it leave it alone for now. Okay, because we're going to take out the 2x, and every time you're changing sides, it's like when you're driving. Have you guys experienced driving with your parents already? Have they started teaching you? Do you have plans of getting your driver's license? Soon, right? Okay. Nice, Enrique. So when you change lane, what do you do? What's the first thing you have to do? Awesome. Okay, so same thing here when you're solving equations. Signal, sign. You have to sign. You change the sign, okay? Turn on your blinker. There you go. So if this is originally positive, you have to change its sign because you're changing lanes. You're going to the other side of the equation. So that means it will become negative. So 3y is equal to 4 minus 2x. Okay. And then after that, we need to get the y by itself. So we need to divide by 3. Okay, and speaking of driving, I didn't drive in the Philippines. So imagine how long it took me to pass my driver's license here. During my first year here, I decided to live 2 blocks, like 2 blocks from San Pedro High School, because I couldn't drive, right? And I couldn't take the bus every day. I used to take the bus from downtown LA, so I had to wake up at 4:30 just to get on that bus and be on time to school. So, what do you call this? There was one time when I had to go home, but there's so many students behind me, and I didn't want, the students to see where I live. So I had to walk down all the way to Vaughn's. What street is Vaughn's at? 13th and Gaffey, I think. So I had to stay there, okay, and shop around and stuff like that, just to kind of wait for wait about 30 minutes before I walk back home again. See? Um, I remember those times. Okay, so as I was saying here, so when you change side or you change lane, you turn on your blinkers or you change a sign. Positive 2x became negative 2x. And then after that, if they're being multiplied, you divide. That's the opposite. Okay, so divide both sides by 3. You can write down your and check your blind spot. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, I forgot to check my blind spot when I went home that day, Enrique. There were so many students behind me. Okay. All right. So there you go. So 4 minus 2x. Or if you want to separate them, you can also write it in that way. Okay. So that's the third example in this one. And the last example before we move on to our next activity. So I hope this kind of clarifies, the lesson a little bit. I will, if you just join us right now, I did mention that I will leave it open just so, those of you who needed more time can catch up on this over the weekend. All right, take a picture of this things before I delete them. Okay. And if you have questions, just feel free to write them in the chat. I can see it in my other device, and this is my first time to do this. So, and it is so much better. I don't have to switch from one screen to the other. Should have done that before, huh? All right. Okay. So I'm going to clear this ink. All right. So one last example. We have z is equal to x plus y over 4. Okay. So we want to get the value of x. There you go. Okay, so now we're probably thinking, oh, I subtract y first. And then somebody would say, no, you got to multiply by 4 first. So in case you find yourself wondering what comes first, you go back to your famous PEMDAS rule from middle school, or I think some teachers are using G instead of P for grouping symbol instead of parentheses. Okay, so then you look at the order. M or D come first before A and S. So that means we will either multiply or divide first. So then we take a look at the 4. Oh yeah, 4 was divided, so that has to be taken away first. And how are you going to do that? You're going to do the opposite. It was divided, so you have to multiply by 4, right? Okay, so it will become 4z is equal to x plus y. There you go. And then after that, you can take away the y, right? So subtract the y. Okay, so now we get 4z. Then take out the y, because if we subtract it here, we also have to do it to the left-hand side. Okay, so 4z minus y is equal to x. Okay, all right. So x is equal to 4z minus y. Okay, do you guys have questions? Hi, Kayla. All right, do you have any questions? Now feel free to, type in the chat if you have questions, because one student last time asked me, Miss, I wanted to ask you questions, but I'm shy. So then I tried to come up with a solution. So, yeah, you could go, Kayla. Uh-huh. So I have it on the other screen, so your questions are not being caught by the screencast anymore. Yeah. And please do let me know of those, um, issues. If you're shy, if you're not comfortable, do let me know. Okay, can we still do delta math? Um, yes, I mentioned earlier, if you did not hear me, yes, until Monday. Okay, take a picture of this if you need it. I wish I could see everybody because it's easier for me to say or determine what you need. But in cases like this, you have to be communicating to me often. Okay. All right. Okay. So here we go. I'm gonna send you another link, and this is where we're gonna start typing. Give me 1 second. It's really important that you communicate with me, either text or chat. Okay, so I would know how I could help you. Um, okay, go to period 4. Um, my utmost intention is to help everybody pass. Okay, so math is already hard in itself. You teach and learn math remotely, that makes it doubly harder. And don't think that it's hard only to learn it. It's also hard to teach it. So you owe yourself one thing this semester. You must not repeat the scores Algebra 1A at all costs. So you have to pass. Okay, I'm so sorry about that, Giovanni. I'm going to write down your name right now, just so I also have a notepad here. So my work table is differently set up today because, yeah, so Delta Math, I will catch up on that, honey. I have 6 to catch up on yeah, okay. Yeah, I have 6 names to catch up on. Okay. Yes, so you owe yourself that. You have to pass this class this semester. Okay, and you have to help me pass you. Even if you're getting the questions wrong, at least you don't start from 0. So just keep doing them. Okay. I know, right? Who wants to retake it? If you're going to retake it, it's gonna be online again, maybe in summer. I don't know. You'll never know. Okay. So we must not see each other again in summer, right? In a good way. Okay, so please click on this link. There you go. And I don't know if my intentions are not clear yet, but let me share a little story. One semester, okay, yeah, we're waiting for all of you to get on. Last semester, I had to call students. I had to call home because they were failing, you know. And in one conversation, that conversation changed my life. I'm already 39 and I had this life changing event. So I called and I could hear, you know, I could hear that there's a limited space and the student was so embarrassed to kind of speak because I could sense that there's too many people. Every time I tell, people about the story, I get teary eyed, So, I mean, who am I to like fail a student who cannot do the work because of the circumstances around him or her, So, I mean, we worked so hard. We were texting each other by a remind until like 1 a.m., like the week before the grades were due. I mean, so show me what you guys got, and I'll do everything in whatever, way I can to help you pass. But if you're not helping yourself, then, I can't do anything. So you have to help yourself so we can help each other. Okay, so let's do this. Translate. I just had to change the topic because, it's just a sensitive story for me. So translate the statement into an algebraic equation. Then you're going to solve. Okay. So product. Oh, sorry. Okay. Um, oh, cool. All right. So product of a number. So product means multiply. So just think of a number, x, that's fine. So a number is x, and then you multiply it by 13, right? Very good. Very good. You're on the right track. And then plus 5. Okay. Oh, what's the class code? I'm so sorry, honey. Um, okay. It should be right here. Give me 1 second, honey. I don't have that from the top of my head. But it should show, excuse me, it should show in the school and I'm looking for that right now. Okay. This one, it's and oh, okay. That's the class code. All right. I hope you could join us. Okay, so 13x plus 5, right, is equal to negative 21. Cool. Okay. So later on, what I would like you to do is you go back to this slide and you solve for x. Okay? Because I want us to be able to like go over all the slides so you don't get stuck when you're alone. All right, good. So copy this down. Awesome. So at least that will give you an idea of what equation to solve, and you can practice on that later on. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Nice. Very good. And I can see some of you are on slide 2 already. That's good. Keep going. Okay. Yes, Louise. Uh-huh. So pretty much all the missing assignments are again open for you to do them. But of course, when the grades are due, then I don't wait. Okay, so now that the grades for 5th week were over, you can keep going back to them. But when the grades open again and you're still not done, then I'm not going to wait for you anymore. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Now let's keep going. All right. Okay, next one. Did I go too fast? Okay, so we're just writing the equation for now. You'll do the solving later, because if we all solve them like right now, then for sure we're going to run out of time, okay? All right, the most important thing here is you know how to translate. Next, 5 times. 5 times. Very good, Kayla. You did it right. And since you have a difference, this has to be, in a parentheses, because you didn't say 5 times a number. It says 5 times and then another operation. So the difference between a number, which is x, and 6. And if you don't know what comes first, whether x comes first or 6 comes first, just follow the order in which they are written. Okay? Yeah. So that's equal to 65. There. Nice. Good job. So 5 times, and then there's another operation. So that's a signal for you that you have to put it in parentheses. But if it says 5 times a number, then you write the x immediately. Okay. Enrique, it's x minus 6, honey. I'm pretty sure you meant to put 6. There you go. Okay. Nice. Good job. Okay. All right. Oh, my other device says I'm connecting. I don't know. Okay. Next. All right. Good. You copied all the equation already? Cool. So later on, you're going to practice on how to solve. Next. Number 3. 3 times the sum. So it didn't say 3 times the number. I like how Justin, Henry, and Kayla, wrote that parentheses already, and George as well. 3 times. Okay, so 3 parentheses twice. So 2 times. Awesome. Twice. So 2 times a number plus 7. That's great. And Kayla is already done, equal to negative 39. Perfect. And I just want to teach you a shortcut to do this. While some students normally distribute it, which is correct, right? A faster way to do this is, if this number can divide the number on the right, then you can reduce the numbers by dividing instead of distributing. Okay, there you go. I heard that from a student last time. He said, "Miss, I divided instead of distributing because if I don't have a calculator, then I want to make my numbers smaller." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a good suggestion." Okay. Oh, I think I have to mute myself in the other device. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yes, honey. Valerie, you figure it out? Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next time, feel free to unmute yourself if you have another method to share with us. I would love to hear those. Okay. Nice. Awesome. Awesome, guys. Okay. Yep, William. So just put the 2x plus 7 inside that parentheses, honey. Okay, and if your computer is slowing down when you open decimals, just focus on the zoom so at least you can write down the equations you will type later. Some students, are still working around 11 p.m. because they said that's the only time their internet is fast. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Okay. Half. Half of the difference. Half of the difference. Okay. This is really a nice one, having another device. Like when you speak, like for example, when Valerie spoke earlier, it showed me right away, who's talking. Her name popped up on the screen right away. I can't think of this right now. Okay. So translate half. So 1/2. The difference. So the difference is minus between -5. That's nice, Ava. And Kayla, all right, minus 3x is -13. I think you guys are ready for your test. Okay, now I feel guilty. I think I underestimated all my classes. Here we go, still reviewing when you guys are so ready. Okay, nice. If any one of you right now still don't have a Delta Math account, please let me know. Okay, because the test will be on Delta Math. So text me, message me if you know anyone who's supposed to be in this class but can't join Zoom. Believe me, internet problems, they're real. It's not that students are making excuses, but it is a problem. George, you forgot your X, honey. Okay. Ava, you forgot the minus after the -5. There you go. Awesome. Okay, let's move on so we can go over all the problems. Okay, number 5, slide 5. 6. All right, so 6 is, normally is means your equal sign, okay? So 6 is a third. Third, so that's a fraction. That's 1/3, right? Nice. So 1/3. It didn't say 1/3 of a number. It said 1/3 of a sum. So be careful with that. Okay, hang on, honey, because I got logged out in my other device. I have to. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Giovanni. Um, okay, it's okay, honey. Just focus on Zoom, just so you don't miss a lot. And then we'll figure that out later. Remember, you're the most important thing here, not the device, not the screen. Okay, as long as you see what I'm writing in Zoom, you're fine. Okay, so 1/3, and then sum of -8. That's -8. Sum of, and then -8 and twice a number. Very good, Ava. All right, and Kayla. So -8 plus twice a number. Awesome. Okay. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Okay. Cool. All right. Oh, Kimberly, you forgot your variable, honey. Oh, it's embarrassing. I'm having hiccups. Sorry. All right. Nice. Okay. So, very good. Now let's move on. Okay. Next is 6, a new one. Yep. This time it's an absolute value. So remember, when you're solving absolute value, you solve it 2 times. So case 1, you keep everything except bars. Okay? So you keep everything same except the bars. So 4x plus 1 plus 3 equals 20. Oh, Ava, you're right. 4x plus 4 equals 20. Okay? But for case 2, you keep 1, you change 1. In other words, you keep one side and then you change the other side to its opposite. So, for example, you can also move this 3 right here, right? Take away 3. You can do that right away. So 4x plus 1, absolute value of 4x plus 1 is equal to 17. And then from there, you decide, what am I going to keep? What am I going to change? So I normally keep the left-hand side, and I change the right-hand side to its opposite. The reason is, normally the number on the right is simpler than the expression on the left. So I would rather change one number than change a whole expression. Okay. And common mistake that I saw on some of your work in the past is, when you already got, this will become 20 minus 4, right? When you guys are already getting an answer here, and you say x is equal to 4, some of you are not solving anymore, and then you say, oh, x is equal to -4. Nope, not necessarily. Okay. Yep. So if we solve here, we subtract that again, you'll get -1, right? So 4x is equal to -18 over 4. Okay. And what do you call this? Definitely that is not negative 4. Okay. All right. So this will become x is equal to, what's this? Um, negative 9 halves, right? Okay. Negative 9 over 2. So that's so far from being negative 4. Okay. All right. Yeah, so that's your first equation, right? And then now can you write down the other equation and then you solve later? So the other equation was when you change one side to negative. So it was 20 minus 3, it was 17, but you have to change it and turn it into a negative. Okay. I'll give you some time to catch up on that. Yeah. Okay. And if you guys are not on Tesmos, it's okay. If you could please use your phone to take a picture of what's on Zoom so you can catch up later. That will be nice. Okay. There you go. And if it doesn't work right now, that's okay. If we cannot make it work also tonight, that's okay. You write your notes down in a piece of paper and I will also accept that. So the rule of the game is as long as you can show me evidence of work, whether it's online or on paper, okay? I don't care if it's on a tissue paper or whatever. Just send it to me, okay? Just send it to me or upload it to Schoology and I will give you a grade. So we give you grade not for the technology you can use, but you get your grade for the work that you show, for the effort that you show. Okay. All right. Nice, guys. So you guys are going to practice solving that later on, okay? All right. So did you take a picture of this? I'm going to clear the ink in a bit so we can move on. Okay. All right. Here we go. Oh, some of you are already. Okay, move on. Okay, so what if it has absolute value in both sides? Okay, so remember the rule. We keep it the same. Drop the bars. There you go. Then from there you can collect the variables, right? Like subtract 3x right there, subtract 3x from here. Okay. And then you'll have 1 is equal to 3x minus 23. I think you can continue from there, right? Okay, so remember these are like not same problems, but similar topics that you will be tested on Wednesday. Okay, now the other one is you keep one side, let's say 3x plus 1. Okay, now change the other side. Let's say this is positive, now you make it negative. Then this is negative, now you make it positive. There you go. And you will end up with two solutions. So let's try this. We can add 6x here. You can add 6x. There you go. All right. And then you will have 9x plus 1. I can see where your 24 is coming from, Ava, but I don't think it's going to be 24 because you have to move the 1 over. Yeah? Oh, you're solving this. I'm sorry, Ava. Okay, so 9x. And then you're going to take away the 1 here. There you go. Equals 22. So x will be 22 over 9. Okay. On the other hand, this you're going to add 23. There you go. So now we get 3x is equal to 24. Which means when you divide 24 by 3, you get 8. So see how how different they are from each other. So don't jump into the conclusion that, oh yeah, if that's 8, then the other must be -8. That's a common misconception. Okay? That's not right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So take a picture if you're not in decimals, so you can type them later, or you can rewrite them on your notes and upload your notes on Schoology. And that is true for all other homeworks. I noticed that some of you have a lot of missing homework, and it could be because of technology. If I gave you a 0 and it didn't work on your device, don't take that 0. Upload an evidence of your work, whether on paper or whatever, and then you send it to me. Okay. All right. And I am also using Google Voice and Google Text to communicate with your parents. Or if you are not in my Remind, then definitely I cannot message you. But my first step when I see that you're missing something is I message you in the Remind. If you're not in Remind, then you're not giving me any choice but to call home. Okay, there you go. Some of your parents may already have my Google Voice text number. Sometimes I was even texting a parent around 11 p.m. last night. So, okay. All right. So we want to get the x by itself. Here you go. All right. We want to get the x by itself. And if you don't know how to join Remind, you go back to Schoology Welcome folder. In the Welcome folder, there's like a instruction there for how to join Remind. So we have to move this first, right? Okay. Take away 16 here and take away 16 from there. So you will have C minus 16 is equal to 8 over 13x. Okay. Now we have to remove this guy here, this fraction. So how do you remove it? You flip it around. You flip it. There you go. But whatever you do to that, you also have to do here. If you're not sure whether it goes here or to both of them, okay, the safest thing to do is put a parentheses around it. There. Excuse me. All right. So now these guys will cancel. All right. And you may leave your answer in x is equal to 13 over 8 c minus 16. There you go. All right. Any questions so far? Any questions? Okay. Take a picture. Take a picture. And study these over the weekend. We don't want your test number 1 to be low. Okay. All right. Take a picture. I'm going to clear the ink. Okay. If you're ready, let's move on to 9. You want to know the number of minutes that you can use on your $45 phone card. You still use phone cards? In 2008, when my dad died, I was here. He was in the Philippines. There was no Facebook Messenger yet or whatnot, So that phone card that I used to call him and hear his voice for the very last time, I still have that. Okay, you want to know the number of minutes that you can use on a $45 phone card. So we have a maximum of $45. Now the card company charges 50 cents for the first minute, so that's a flat rate. 50 cents. That's cheap. I was charged $5 before for the first, just to connect. Okay, I was ripped. And then plus, it's 0.05, so 5 cents. I need more space. Why am I, okay, writing over there. So 50 cents plus is 5 cents. It says for each additional minute. So that's per minute. Here you go. So times M equals 45. So if you want to know how, for how long you could talk, then you have to get the M by itself. So how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to subtract 50 cents from here, right? So 45 take away 50 cents will be $44.50. Okay, nowadays what do you used to call overseas? I know like T-Mobile now has free calls to some countries. I went home to the Philippines last time and I did not pay for any data at all. But if I receive a call from outside, I had to pay. It's okay. The price of being overseas, right? Okay, so you cross these out. All right, and I wish COVID will go away so I could go back home. All right, so M is equal to, okay, I don't know what this is. Can you help me with this? Okay. So that's 44.50. You guys have a calculator? Right. It's calculator 4450 divided by 0.05. Okay. 890. 890 minutes. Am I right?
Mommy, my Zoom is done.
Your Zoom is done? Very good. Good for you. It's okay, Christian. Forgiven. So I got my other device got logged out too, So it's not just you, it's everybody's. Okay, so now how many hours would that be then? So how many, let's divide that by 60. Divided by 60. About 14 hours. 14 hours and about, what do you call this? It's 14.83 if you change that to hours. Okay. Oh, now she's done. So she's going to be loud. My kiddo. All right. Let's keep going. Here we go. I'll take a picture if you haven't done so. All right. Okay. And I'm sorry to be bearer of the bad news if you haven't gotten it, but some of us, I think, may be transferred to another class. And the reason for that, and it's not that we pick you, intentionally. I think it's random. Okay. So that like they do draw lots, maybe numbers. Like, okay, if I pick number 26, whoever is number 26 in the roster joins another class. And the reason for that is because they're trying to balancing the classes. But don't panic. Your grade from me, you will carry that over to your new teacher. Okay? So if you get moved, okay. Virtual hub getting moved. Yeah, but they're doing it to balance classes. Okay. Anyway, so what is the value of C when you have the formula P is equal to NC minus E? Well, P gives you the profit. Oops. Message. I got my fifth and first switch and both new teachers. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes if they can find like a good match, let's say you're in my period 4, if they can find another period 4 math teacher, then that's easy. But if they can't do that, then I have to like switch your schedule around. But I think it's a good timing. You got your 5th week, so it's like you're starting a new grading period with another teacher. Okay? All right. So good luck if you are being moved, and thank you for being very patient. Okay? All right. So if P is equal to 2200, so I'm just substituting, equals N is 2000, right? N is 2000. We don't know what C is, and E is 900. There you go. So for example, when you're selling chips, the profit is given by how many chips you sell times how much you're selling it for, and then minus, of course, the price you paid for the box of chips, right? And if you're wondering whether you earn more profit from selling chips or chocolates, yeah, in school it's not allowed. So there was one time when I knew somebody was selling, so I like used this as an example, and they were like, "Ooh, I thought, you know, the kids pretty much were talking about it. I think she knows." So I told them, "You're gonna get more profit from selling chips than from selling chocolates." Okay, so you're gonna move this guy over. All right, that's what I miss, the most in the classroom. I mean, those experiences you can't get from distance learning. You know. Okay. All right, then we're going to add these up. There you go. Um, all right. And then after that, you're just going to divide it. Okay. So you're going to divide both sides by 2,000. Yeah. Okay. So you can calculate that for me later. All right. Okay. We got 3 minutes left. And here we go. One last. Oh, did you take a picture? Okay. So the Antulik family is having a new carpet installed in the dining room. The carpet costs $399 for installation. That's a lot. So to install, you pay $399. I just wash off my carpet. Okay, and then like you rub it with soap and um, wet rag. Okay, so $399 and 17 for each square yard. So plus 17 per yard, right? Okay. Especially like I have 2 kids. Oh my god, they leave mess everywhere. So I like spot clean their carpet sometimes. So write an equation that can be used to find the number of square yards of carpet installed if the cost is $909. Oh, so let's say you paid $909. You're gonna figure out, how many square yards, did you pay for, or how much part of your floor was covered, right? So what are we gonna do with that? Well, we subtract $399 here minus $399 right there. Okay. Then take that away. You'll end up with 17y here is equal to, that's going to be 0, 5. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. 9 minus 9 is 0. 10 minus 9 is 1. 8 minus 3 is 5. Okay. And then you're going to divide that by 17. Okay. So y is equal to, I think it's 30, right? Okay, 7 times 3 is 21, 32. Yeah, 1 times 3 plus 2 is 5. Yes, so y is equal to 30 square yards, right? Okay, but there's a follow-up question. The follow-up question is, what if the Antley family has 1,100 to spend? Can they afford to have 40 square yards of carpet installed? Oh, let's see. Well, how much would it cost to install 40 yards? Let's see. $399 plus 17. They want to install 40 square yards. And let's see how much would that be. They only have how much? 1,100. Okay. So let's see what 17 times 40 is. Um, so 17 times 40. So this will become 680. So 399 plus 680. Will that be greater than or smaller than 1,100? That will cost 1079. So it's less than 1,100. Okay, so that means they would have enough budget to install it, right? Okay, I went I went 16 minutes overtime today. Okay, but thanks y'all for staying. I appreciate you. And please catch up on your work this weekend, okay? Remember, One work a day, every class keeps the F away. But if you do more than one, no more F. Okay, do you guys have questions for me? I'm going to stop the screencast.